Mumbai under siege, the true story of the 2008 26/11 attacks. Subscribe for more real crime stories, like, share, and join the discussion below. The Taj Mahal Palace Hotel lobby lay in shattered silence. Crystal chandeliers hung crooked, glass shards scattered across polished marble floors, and the walls bore scorch marks. In the rubble, a hotel guest, lay motionless, a crimson stain spreading beneath. Through broken windows, the streets of Mumbai glowed orange with fires burning nearby. Gunshots echoed faintly from across the city. Police and commandos rushed down corridors, flashlights cutting through dust. Among them was Senior Inspector David Fletcher, fresh from the US, aiding Indian forces. His radio crackled, "Hostiles in the West Wing. Rooms 404 to 408 under fire." He sprinted toward the door, heart pounding, only to find the hinges shot away, and inside, hostages huddled in terror. And just as he raised his weapon, a sudden explosion ripped through the ceiling above him. The floor shuddered. Debris fell. He slammed forward, and then blackness took over. Now rewind. Before terror broke loose, Mumbai was alive as ever. November 26, 2008, a cool, humid night by the Arabian Sea. Millions moved through Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus station, families boarded trains, street vendors sold chai, and tourists dined at Leopold Cafe. It was ordinary until it wasn't. At around 9:45 p.m., gunfire erupted at CST station. Two terrorists, rifles blazing, stormed the platform, firing indiscriminately. Passengers screamed, "Dove for cover." In seconds, lives changed forever. Simultaneously, others struck at the Taj, Oberoi Trident, Nariman House, and Leopold Cafe. 10 men had landed by sea, armed with AK-47s, grenades, and a plan. They fanned out across the city, moving in small terror cells. In one cafe, guests sheltered under tables, hands shaking, as bullets tore windows. Across the road, some ran, some froze. Among them was Maya Reed, an American tourist on holiday. She pressed against the wall, phone trembling in her hand, unable to dial out. At the Taj, guards fought back, but the corridors were silent death traps, shot through with smoke and fear. Communications failed. Commandos were delayed. By midnight, dozens were dead, more than 100 wounded. The city was under siege. Back in CST, Inspector Fletcher arrived, tensed, scanning faces. He spotted one attacker moving toward the platform exit, dragging a bag. He lunged, shouting. The attacker aimed his rifle. Fletcher dove for cover. A shot rang out. Fletcher's team scrambled. The chaos spread. And then, in the shadow of hotel towers, reports surfaced. One of the terrorists had escaped into the underground passages, vanishing into Mumbai's veins. The hunt was on. But what was their true objective? And who was guiding them from the shadows? By dawn, smoke drifted above Mumbai's skyline like a bruise. Fire trucks lined the streets outside the Taj Mahal Palace, their sirens cutting through the eerie calm. The siege had lasted through the night, hundreds still trapped inside. From behind the barricades, journalists shouted questions while families clutched photos of missing loved ones. Inside the command center, Senior Inspector David Fletcher studied a grainy CCTV feed of the attackers. 10 men, one officer said quietly, but only 9 confirmed dead or active. The room fell silent. Fletcher frowned. Then where's the 10th? Across the city, chaos turned into a slow nightmare. At the Oberoi Trident, commandos breached room after room, rescuing guests who had spent hours locked in bathrooms. The air was thick with smoke and fear. One survivor, Maya Reed, stumbled out barefoot, her face streaked with soot. She kept whispering, "They just kept firing, they didn't stop." Outside, reporters swarmed her, but she barely spoke, her mind still trapped in that moment. Fletcher watched her statement later on the monitors and noticed something strange. Behind her, in the background of the video, stood a man wearing a hotel staff uniform, but the badge was missing. He seemed calm, too calm. Fletcher zoomed in, but the face was blurred. Meanwhile, the police traced the attacker's route. Their boat had docked at the fisherman's wharf, and witnesses recalled seeing them unload heavy bags. The Navy recovered the abandoned vessel, riddled with bullet holes, and found satellite phones, fake IDs, and Pakistani currency. The realization hit hard: this wasn't random. It was planned, coordinated, and funded from abroad. Every officer in that room felt the weight of it. "This is not just Mumbai's fight," Fletcher said. "It's everyone's." At Nariman House, the standoff worsened. A group of attackers had taken hostages, including a local rabbi and his family. The narrow lanes made it impossible for commandos to move fast. Fletcher arrived just as another explosion shook the building. "Move! Move!" he yelled. A wall of fire erupted, debris flying across the street. From behind cover, he spotted a figure escaping through the smoke, that same face from the hotel footage. The mysterious man was real. Fletcher sprinted after him, through alleys slick with water and blood, until the man turned a corner and vanished into the darkness. Hours later, commandos secured the Taj. Bodies were carried out under white sheets. The city was exhausted, broken, but still standing. Fletcher returned to headquarters, covered in dust, replaying the footage again and again. That unknown man wasn't on any list. Not one survivor could identify him. It was as if he'd appeared out of thin air and disappeared the same way. Fletcher's gut told him the siege wasn't over. Rain fell hard over Mumbai that night, washing away the dust and ash but not the fear. Detective David Fletcher stood beneath a flickering streetlight, holding the phone that had just delivered the chilling message, "You stopped 9. I'm the 10th." His pulse thundered in his ears. Somewhere out there, one attacker was still free. The siege wasn't history. It was unfinished business. The following morning, security agencies locked down the city. Checkpoints sprang up at every major intersection, trains delayed, and the air was thick with unease. Intelligence officers combed through hours of surveillance footage from the Taj, Oberoi, and CST station. Then came the break, a blurred image from a traffic camera near Marine Drive showing a man in a hotel staff jacket boarding a small fishing boat hours before dawn. The same man Fletcher had chased through the alleys. The coordinates traced to a safe house outside the city, near the Sultans of Navi Mumbai. Fletcher led the raid himself. The area was silent except for the hum of power lines and the sound of the sea hitting concrete. The house looked abandoned, but a single light glowed from inside. The team breached. Inside, they found maps of Mumbai, weapons hidden under floorboards, and a torn passport. But the suspect was gone. Only a portable radio played a distorted broadcast, a news report replaying the events of the siege. Fletcher felt a chill crawl up his spine. The man had been there minutes before. Hours later, a call came through from the Coastal Watch. A small speedboat had been spotted heading west, straight into the open sea. A chase began. Navy patrols cut across the dark waves, their lights slicing through the mist. Fletcher stood at the bow, his jacket whipping in the wind, eyes locked on the fleeing vessel. "He's not getting away this time," he muttered. When they closed in, a figure stood on the boat's edge, the same calm, expressionless face from the footage. The man didn't run or fight. He simply raised his hands as if surrendering to the night. Fletcher shouted, "You're surrounded. It's over." But the man smiled faintly and replied, "It was never about me." Then, before anyone could react, a fiery explosion split the darkness. The blast rocked the patrol boat, flames rising like a ghost over the black water. By dawn, the wreckage was found, but no body. Only fragments of metal and the radio device that had been playing during the siege. Forensic experts later confirmed the explosion had been triggered remotely, a decoy. The true 10th had vanished again. Fletcher watched the sunrise over a city still recovering, his reflection shimmering in the waves. The attack had ended, but the war in the shadows had not. As Mumbai began to rebuild, whispers spread among survivors of a man seen in different cities, always near the sea, always watching. No one ever proved it was him. But to this day, every November 26, Detective Fletcher still gets a call at midnight.